What's going on, beautiful people? Today we're going to dive into my 4-week, 30-day dopamine reset through no caffeine, very little screen time, no alcohol, no nicotine, nothing, no external substances, and also no meat. Now, even though the meat is not directly related to the dopamine, there is reasoning behind it, and I'm going to get into it in this video. Currently, I'm on day 4. I wanted to wait a few days to really give you a bit of a accurate update into how I'm feeling, because after day 4 you generally start to understand what's happening in your body, and I've already started feeling a few changes. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm going to first of all say why I'm doing this. So after my retreat, I met an amazing lady. She came to my retreat actually, and she said to me, Joe, and she basically works with high performance CEOs, types of people in the world that I would say a type of therapy in a way, but even she didn't give it a specific job title, but she's very, very well educated. And one of the things she said to me, as I'm in this transition phase in my life, she said, I can see that through the way your body language is, through the way that your mind is thinking, you do a lot of overthinking. I think this erratic behavior, there's Freddie, this, where the mind is just constantly turning, caffeine is not a good substance to add into your daily life. Now, I mentioned alcohol and nicotine, and this is something that I don't often do. I don't often drink, hardly anymore. And I mean, a couple of times this year only. Nicotine, this is something that's always been a vice for me. But again, in the past sort of 2-3 months, I've pretty much knocked it on the head completely. I was quite a big vapor, but on and off, like a social vapor, which is just ridiculous, really. It's a habit that I knocked at the start of the year for like 10 weeks and then somehow got drawn back into it. And again, it's the worst habit in the world. I think we're in a huge epidemic now and it's terrible. But anyway, this next 30 days is mainly about the caffeine. And what the idea is, it's to allow my natural dopamine receptors to reset themselves so we don't get any external dopamine through nicotine, caffeine, and screen time, okay? So screen time is a big one as well. How much time we spend on our phones scrolling through, when you get caught up in the old doom scroll, and before you know it, you've been on your phone for an hour and it's just ridiculous. And it's the same with Netflix and all those things as well. You put things off and you just watch a series and then you binge watch the series, and it's not good for the mind. And the idea is that you want to start working inwards. I'm on a big spiritual journey right now, and the way I define spirituality is by doing deep inner work. It's not woo-woo. It's not like this, I'm going to go completely vegan, wear hippie pants and grow my hair and live in the jungle and say, the whole world is... No, it's not me, I'm still a hard worker. I'm still an entrepreneur. I still love doing what I'm doing and working with people. But the idea is that I need to work on myself and I need to work on my internal work. And day 4, anyway, it's been tough for sure. The first few days I was reading up, they say that your dopamine levels might crash because you're not getting that external dopamine. So you're not getting that hit that you want, which I've been so used to for so many years. Waking up in the morning, having a coffee, that's a ritual. That first sip of coffee, that buzz that you get, well, that's cut out now. So I'm kind of left like, well, what should I do? Should I have a tea? And I don't really like tea. So it's kind of sad. It's like it's like taking a dummy away from a baby. They're not going to be happy, all right? And it's the same. But then obviously day 2, day 3, and now we're on day 4. And the biggest noticeable change that I've found personally is that I'm quite an erratic person, meaning if there's a situation where there's a lot going on and it can get quite stressful, I'm the first person to, overthink it, get a bit wound up, you say, oh God, we need to do this. And I'll run around and really cause drama in my own mind. And that seems to have gone quite significantly, to the point where a stressful situation might arise where there's a lot of things going on and I can think strategically. And I think it's because like my blood pressure, my heart rate is like much more calm, rather than when it's elevated through the caffeine, through the nicotine, where you're just, you're constantly in fight or flight mode. Whereas now I'm not, I'm more in a calm mindset. So day 4, it's going swimmingly well. I'm not even drinking decaf, by the way. This is literally just like no traces of caffeine at all. Energy in the gym, that has been okay as long as I train in the morning. And it's funny because combine this with not having any meat, it's been very interesting. Now, the meat, let me just say one more thing about the caffeine. I'm not getting the crashes in the afternoon as much. Day 1 to 3, I did get crashes like about 4 p.m. I was just exhausted. I don't know what the reason is that, but it could be the meat as well. So we're doing 2 experiments at once here, right? So the no meat, she said, I can see, there's probably a lot of inflammation in your body. And I think for the next 30 days as well, reducing meat or getting rid of it completely is going to really benefit you. Okay, so if you can take out caffeine and meat in 1 month, she said up to 6 weeks, but she said you can do 1 month as well, you will notice a lot of difference. And now with that extra time and headspace you've got, make sure you're meditating more, make sure you're doing more breath work, which again, in the morning, I'm spending at least 1 hour. Breath work, meditation, journal, no noise, nothing, just myself. And it's actually interesting. Every day it's a little bit deeper, It's a little bit deeper, a little bit more further on. So going back to the no inflammation. So again, we're going to see how my body reacts to that. That's less about the dopamine receptors with the meat, but it's a challenge. And already, I've got some meals that I've been cooking: lentils, chickpeas, lots of vegetables, more fruit, and eggs, Greek yogurt. I'm not going vegan. This is vegetarian. So there's just no meat, no fish. And I can honestly say that I think my energy levels are maintaining most of the day. And yesterday I trained hard on the video that you saw yesterday. If you saw it, it's on my channel. We trained in the gym and it was like a high rock style session. And even after that, I still felt like I had energy and I didn't want to crash. And sometimes after a big session like that, I'll go home and I'll have a steak, I'll have eggs. And obviously with the added pressure of the work that you've just done, combined with the digestion of, say, red meat, I guess that there's probably an effect that's happening in the body where there's just too much going on and your body just shuts down because the blood is draining from your brain and going into your stomach, as we know, because it's just digesting more and digesting harder. Whereas when you're eating more fibrous, more easy to digest foods, there's probably less of that. Again, I'm not necessarily someone who's studied the nutrition of this and vegetarian versus meat. I've just been someone that's ate meat all my life. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm not going to document every day, but every other day or every 3 days, you'll see an update of where I'm at, and also like my physique as well. So right now, I got away from holiday. I always stay in pretty good shape, but I didn't train very much. My eating was not the best in terms of just meal timings and what I was eating. So I would say like now I'm slightly out of shape, but over the next 30 days, I'm trying to hit my protein goal of like 160 through vegetarian options, which is pretty easy. But also just, reducing all of those saturated fats that you get from meat. We'll see how we react. But as I say to everybody, it's always good to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. I've came back to Dubai now. I know that I'm in this sort of transitional phase of my life, and it's good for me to reset my dopamine, reset my centralize my alignment, do more meditating, work with myself more, reduce what could be causing more anxiety, more stress, like the caffeine and stuff like that, and work on my body and work on my health. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to be documenting every single day on the YouTube channel, not necessarily about the vegetarian stuff, but just every day you'll see a video on this channel for the next 2 weeks. So thanks very much for watching. If you are trying this challenge or you're a vegetarian, you've got good options for me, write them below. I'd be very interested, besides chickpeas and lentils, what you get your high protein sources from. Thanks very much, guys. See you in the next video.